Before we get in the video, please like, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, go ahead and leave a comment below, and click on the How You Can Help, which brings up the Family Friendly Game website and gives you lots of ideas how you can help us. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Paul Berry, Family Friendly Gaming, and welcome to FFG Politics. We did a poll on this, we've been discussing it internally. We're going to be doing an FFG Politics series. Maybe it'll turn into live streams at some point if we think that there will be enough interest in doing a live stream and there's an interesting enough topic to discuss. Want to lay down some ground rules first. 1, be polite. 2, be civil. 3, be respectful. Okay? Now, those are the first big 3 rules. I'll probably have words up there. I'll be polite, be civil, be respectful. Popping up on the screen at some point throughout this video is my plan when I do the processing for the video. Those are really important. Very, 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 very important. Okay? I want to have a robust discussion that is spirited, debate, but also family friendly. Okay, that means no profanity. Look, I love comments. I love comments that make me think. I love comments that bring up interesting different ideas. So if you want to do those, awesome, but don't be profane. And even if you use like an acronym, you know, don't use an acronym with profanity in it either. It's gonna get moderated and deleted on our channel. Okay, that's just how it is. So I'm giving you the upfront, so you know, don't do those things. Okay, the other thing is, this is really important to me, no name calling, okay? If you can't discuss the idea, the concept, without starting name calling, you've lost, all right? That's my school of thought, that's how I think, that's how we're gonna run this, all right? So if you're gonna sit there and just be like, well, you're a sexist, racist, homophobe, goodbye, delete. Your comment goes nowhere. It doesn't get seen ever again by anyone, right? We'll just delete it and it'll go away. So don't be doing that. Instead, you can say things like, I disagree. I'll give you a great example. So AOC, if you don't know, Antonio something Cortez in New York, the representative, she said recently, at least recent as recording of this video, she said, we need to make a list of Republicans and conservatives who supported Trump, something to that effect. We need a list of those people. And the other Democrats are saying, yeah, we need a list. And we need to make sure they can't ever work again. And we need to, you know, they make sure they can't own property and all these other things. And I go, whoa, 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 whoa. First off, 1, that's unconstitutional. 2, that's evil, right? 3, there's a group that actually did this. Historically. So you know how you've probably heard the phrase, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it? This kind of implies. And this is going to illustrate my point. The group that did it was in Nazi Germany in World War II. They did it to the Jews. They told the Jews they couldn't own property. They couldn't work. They couldn't have a business. And then look where that led. That led to a very bad place. So, if you go, hey AOC, that's a bad idea because that same concept was done in World War II in Nazi Germany. That was a really bad thing that happened. Let's not do that. That's safe. If you just go, AOC, you're a Nazi, that's not safe. That's name calling. You see the difference? You can sit there and compare actions to other actions and point out people in the past who did it and you believe it was wrong. Of course, I definitely believe it's wrong. But the thing about politics, there's going to be lots of opinions. So bear in mind, there's going to be facts and opinions and try to differentiate. The other thing is try to keep your emotions out of it. But sitting there saying someone's a Nazi or a sexist, racist, homophobe or sexist, racist, breederphobe, don't be doing that. Please. Please. Instead, try to compare their policies to bad things that have happened. Or you sit there and say, you know what? I believe Joe Biden is corrupt, part of the swamp of corruption, because, and then lay out your case, right? Like, I believe Joe Biden's corrupt because he went to Ukraine and he threatened to withhold aid to the president of Ukraine unless they fired the prosecutor who was investigating his son in this company, right? If you go, I believe that was corruption, that's completely legit. But you gotta back it up. See what I'm saying? You can sit there and say you think someone's got character issues and flaws. A great example, you know what, I think President Trump has character issues and flaws because of all these tweets. Because he's standing up to the political left, and he's standing up against political correctness, and he's just way too aggressive about that. And that's a legitimate comment and belief. If you sit there and say Trump's racist, that's name calling. You see the difference? You see how you can sit there, if you're going to illustrate the point of something and what you disagree with, use the facts, use your opinions without the name calling. That's the big thing here, okay? That's the big thing I want to try to get us to do. And I am probably going to have to work on this myself, because I want to sit there and sometimes say the radical far left. And I'm like, you know what, that's kind of name calling and labeling, whereas maybe they're not that radical. The difference would be if you sit there and say, Bernie Sanders holds socialist viewpoints, which he himself has admitted to. So if you sit there and say, yeah, look, right here, he says, I'm a socialist, I believe in socialism. Okay, you can sit there and say, this person holds socialist views, and you could even say, they have themselves said they're a socialist. That's not really name calling if you're quoting them, right? So if let's say Nancy Pelosi, admitted to corruption and crimes, and she had benefited off of all of her years in Congress, then it's going to say, hey, she had that interview where she shut off this massive refrigerator, and there's people just a few blocks away starving to death. That's kind of tasteless, a little tacky, that behavior. And that's totally legit. If you sit there and say, she hates the homeless and she hates the poor, that's kind of, I think that's harder to prove. But if you want to sit there and lay out the case, which is probably, take a lot longer, like I said, to me it's a little meh on that one. But like I said, these rules may develop and grow as we continue to do the FFG politics. But again, be polite, be civil, be respectful. I understand there is a lot of people with a lot of different viewpoints, especially in Family Friendly Game Universe, and that's fine. I'm not trying to brainwash anyone into any one viewpoint or belief set. I will admit where I'm coming from. So I'm coming from the obey God stance. So I believe in the Holy Bible, and I believe you need to obey God versus disobey. And I see a lot of things that people are doing in culture and in government that is disobeying God, and to me that's wrong, right? Now, I can't force them to obey God. I can't force anyone to obey God, right? And I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to do anything to them ever, right? Except maybe point out that this person, and if you're, in my viewpoint, if you're rebelling against God, then you're really technically serving Satan. So you're either on one or the other, right? That's how I look at it. And politically speaking, I believe in small government. I believe in trying to keep government out of our lives as much as possible. I do think there is a need for some safety nets, but I also think there needs to be limits on that. There also needs to be limits on politicians, right? I don't think someone should be a politician more than 25, maybe 30 years of their life. I'm talking everything from dog catcher to president of the United States. Like, none of this, well, I'll do 20 years as a representative and then 10 years as a senator, or 16 years as a senator, whatever it is, and then 8 years as president. No. I'm talking life-term limits on being a politician. If you're a politician for, I said 25, 30 years, I think that's enough. You should go work again. Get back in the private sector. One of the biggest issues I see with politicians is they lose touch with the people, right? When you're being driven around everywhere, you don't know what it's like to drive, one. You don't know what it's like to sit there and go shopping when people go shopping for you. I mean, come on. Really? You don't know what our lives are like and how you're going to represent us. Even if I like some of your ideas, I still don't think you're going to be representing us well if you don't know what it's like. If you haven't sit there and said, yeah, I remember 5-10 years ago when I was doing this, right? You know, I think they get too out of touch, and it just doesn't help. That's my opinion. That's where I'm coming from. So now you all know when I'm doing these FFG Politics videos. But okay, you know, he wants small government. He wants government out of our lives. He wants us to have control of things. Like, we'll at some point talk about taxes. Whose money is that? Really? And your answer will kind of tell us your belief set on that. So, this is the intro, and just remember, be polite, be civil, be respectful. Please try to avoid the name calling. Express the opinions, you know. I really don't want lots of hater comments because y'all are just going to get deleted for that. So, you know, like I said, try to keep it cool. I understand emotions can run high on things. Just try to take a step back, take a breath, and go, is this comment going to be respectful while I'm disagreeing? Because we can disagree without being disagreeable, right? There's a maturity there. All right. So I thank everyone for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.